G'day gamers, Ranger Tony here, back with something a little bit different. Although I think I have played this on stream before, I'm not sure. This is Neverwinter Nights 2, although the background there looks a little bit different because I loaded a mod which put a different background and a different music overlay, because the music in this intro gets very annoying very quickly in the default Neverwinter Nights 2. And I have loaded a bunch of campaigns. So Neverwinter Nights 2 comes with the official campaign, it comes with Mask of the Betrayer, Storm of Zahir, and Mysteries of Westgate, none of which I have finished. I have no desire to do Mysteries of Westgate or Mask of the Betrayer because what I have seen of them I don't like. I've never been able to finish the official campaign, but I want to do it one day. And Storm of Zahir is interesting because you start and you build your entire party, and I have actually played about halfway through that adventure years ago with an entire party of rangers, and it works brilliantly. So I'm tempted to actually do that again. I have played some of the Baldur's Gate Reloaded on stream and put it up on YouTube previously. I might do that again at some point. Recently, I did have a look at it a few days ago, offline, of course, and I was looking at it going, trying to see what I could do about getting as many rangers into the party as possible. And while I have loaded mods that do allow me to do things like change characters, classes, and stuff like that, the really disappointing thing is that everybody's favorite Minsk is created in this campaign as a barbarian, not a ranger. So he doesn't get an animal companion. But there is Kurvan, the ranger, but you can't get him until after you complete Chapter 2, which is the mines at Nashkel. But anyway, I played around with that a little bit. I actually, offline, also played around with Pool of Radiance, which is a very old story. I remember reading novels based on that campaign years ago, so some of it was vaguely familiar. But it got to a point where the game just broke. It would not finish one particular quest for me, and so I gave up on that. I might try it again. I did a couple of things wrong in there. In particular, I locked my key into my house and could never get back into it again. Yeah. I suppose I'm used to doing that in Skyrim. You don't have to have it. Once you unlock your house once, it never gets locked again. So... but in this game, it automatically locks after you leave every time. And then Icewind Dale. I want to try this. Now, there is one minor little thing. So first of all, you can create your own party, up to 6 characters. They recommend at least 4 to 6. I'm going to start with 6. It's going to be myself as an archery ranger, 2 other archery rangers, all with animal companions eventually, of course. A rogue, a cleric, and a sorcerer. Or sorceress, I should say, because equal opportunity. Everybody else in the party are going to be ladies. Now, I am going to have to make one tiny little cheat right at the start. And that is that there is a bug in this, because when you start any campaign here in Neverwinter Nights, you get given, your character gets given a starting amount of gold. In this, you create all of your characters, but only your first character gets any gold. So you start with very little gold. You start with about 100. From what I've found online, you generally start around the 600. Excuse me. You generally start around the 600 mark. And you start with no gear in this either, except for the armor that you're wearing, and it's very low-level armor. So I think the cleric will start with chain shirt. Everybody else will, all of my rangers and rogues and stuff will start with leather armor. And of course, the sorcerer will just have robes. No weapons, nothing else, except for some, there's these coins of resurrection that you can use to resurrect your characters. We start with, I think, 2 of those, and that's it. It's very, very frugal. So we're going to use commands to give ourselves about... well, 700 gold is what I plan to give, so that I have a total of 800 that I can use to outfit my characters with weapons and a few healing potions and stuff like that. So let's get into it. Let's get started. So I could select characters. I've deleted all my saves and I've deleted my characters that I created previously. There is a decent selection of characters here. My problem is too many of them are evil, and I don't get it. I'm not going to go through my whole spiel about that again. I just don't understand why they want to create evil characters for your parties in everything these days. So we are going to start as, of course, a human male ranger. I will toggle facial hair, and I think I'm just going to go with that, to be honest. It's not exactly me, but I mean, I could go with, where's the one? Yeah, I'll go with that one. That's as close as I can get today. They don't have a full-on friendly mutton chop like mine, but that's close. So let's go with that. Not going to change. Yeah, let's change the hair. Might as well. There we go. Right. The rest of that is fine. We're going to pick Ranger, of course. I'm going to do neutral good. I'm more comfortable with neutral good in general. Gweren Windstrom is going to be the deity that I choose. He is I suppose he's considered a lesser god of rangers. So basically the history in this is that Gweren Windstrom was a human ranger who was, I think, a worshipper of Malachi, and he ended up ascending to godhood, became like a lesser deity. He is now the god of tracking and rangers of the north, and his favorite weapon is the great sword. That doesn't affect anything in the game, but that's what I'm going to choose. I'm actually just going to go with the recommended stats here because they're actually quite good. Strength of 14. Like, as an archery ranger, I don't need a lot of strength, but a little bit if I can get a compound longbow. Sorry, not compound, composite. big difference. Don't get me started on that. A composite longbow, which allows me to put some of my strength damage into the attack. That will be good. So that will give me an extra 2 points of damage from my bow, if I can find one of those. I have no idea if they're available in this. For example, in Pool of Radiance, the other campaign I was just talking about a minute ago, I went through a significant portion of that campaign, as I said, as an archery ranger. Did not find a single thing better than just a standard longbow. There were some better arrows, but there was no composite longbows, and there was no way to make them, even though there was Neverwinter Nights 2 does have a smithing system in it that allows you to build things if you have the skills, etc., which I'm not going to take in this, but yeah, I couldn't get one. So hopefully they're here. If not, it's no big deal. It'll at least increase my carrying capacity, or if I have to switch to melee weapons. All right? And I'll mention a little bit about that in a minute because the start of the game is a little bit interesting from what I've seen so far. Dexterity, 16 is good enough to start. I would waste too many points elsewhere to try and get that to 18, so I'm not going to bother. Constitution of 14 is good. That's 2 extra hit points. That's going to be very nice. Intelligence we don't need for a ranger. Wisdom of 14 is going to be good because wisdom is the skill that we use for casting ranger spells. Not that we get a lot, and we don't need to go any higher than 14 because we only ever get a maximum of 4 levels of ranger spells, clerical spells. So that is good. We are going to just bump dexterity the entire way through whenever we get the option. And of course, any dex gear that we find we're going to wear. Although if we find strength gear, that's not going to go astray, carrying more, etc. But yeah. Backgrounds, these help a little bit. I like for my main character to have natural leader because that gives a +1 to all of my companions' attack rolls, which I think is just great. You know, it's just a passive bonus that they all get to attack, and I don't have to do anything. Now, Normally I would go with customize here and pick all of my starting setup, but I happen to know that the marksman setup is pretty well exactly what I want anyway. So I'm just going to go with marksman. So we will continue that, and sorry about that. And this is going to be Ranger Tony and no voice. Okay, so here we are. This is the Dungeon Master. A little bit of a joke there, but there is a little bit of voice acting in this, not a lot. So I need to... So there is information here about... if you go through this section here, it tells you a little bit about the game. And it basically just makes some pretty generic recommendations that, you know, you really want a good combination of skills throughout the thing. So that's what we're going to do. One moment. Right, so I'm here. I said I want 2 more rangers. As I said, they have a good selection of characters here, and in fact, this character here is a half-elf ranger who is chaotic good, who isn't too bad, and that one there is a neutral good rogue, halfling rogue, female, who isn't too bad. But I think overall, the reasons why I'm not going to pick them is because I also can't turn off their voices. Whereas if I create each character separately, I can. So first off, our other 2 rangers. A half-orc, female ranger. Looks are fine, don't need to worry about that. Ranger, I'm going to let her be chaotic good. Doesn't matter at all. And she will be a ranger of Malachi. Actually, let's go neutral good because Malachi is neutral good. There we go. And then her recommended stats are actually a little bit better because she gets a bonus to strength being a half-orc, but that gives her penalties to intelligence and charisma. Not really going to be a problem. So we're going to go with that. We will make her a farmer so that she has a bonus to survival and spot. And we're also going to make her a marksman. Prolo. Yeah, Prolo, I think I'll do. No, not Mole. Yeah, there we go. And I can go none there on the voice. Very good. Now, it always puts those characters right at the bottom of the list. But the trick is, if you're ever playing this, the trick is just hit add straight away as soon as you created them, because they'll be the one that's currently highlighted. And that then adds Prolo to our list. Let's create our second one. We want an Elven Ranger. Moon Elf, I think, is probably the good option here. We don't want extra int. We could take Wild Elf, which gives us a negative to int. But I don't really want that. Do they have a... No, they don't. And we could also go Wood Elf, which gives us... They actually are favorite class of Ranger. That gives us strength and dex bonus, but has a constitution and intelligence deficit. Let's actually do that. I wasn't going to, but let's do a Wood Elf. She's not going to have the hit points of some of the others, but we'll leave it at that. So Ranger... We'll make her chaotic good. And then this adds in. So what, if you don't know, you'll see there's a completely different list of deities here. For some races, it'll add in some of that race's own deities to the list. And they're usually the ones at the top. So everything above Shanti here, these are all elven gods or goddesses. And they're ones that'll match to a degree your chosen alignment and or profession. We're going to pick Solinar. Although it's a little strange that there is another elven goddess, Sayanine Moonbow, and she's not in the list for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, that this god is the god. He's Keen-Eye, the great archer, and he is chaotic good. His portfolio is archery, hunting, and wilderness survival, which is perfect for a wild elf. Yeah, Sayanine Moonbow is probably not in the list because this is a wild elf, not some of the other elves. I think that is probably the wild elf gods, not the other elven gods, because the wild elves are a little bit different from everybody else. We're just going to go recommend there. Everything else is pretty much the same, except we have slightly higher strength and lower constitution than some of the others. Everything else will be good. We are going to go Wild Child here. Helps a little bit with some skills, but we're also going to just go default marksman there. And Elrind, yeah, I can do that. That'll do. And add her in there. Very good. Now, so that's our 3 rangers. Now, even though they're all going to be primarily archery rangers, we will swap back to weapons, melee weapons if we need to. But we're mostly later game, well, mid to early mid, whatever. As soon as we get our animal companions, we are going to be using those primarily as our meat shields, I suppose, is a way of putting it. And we're going to just sit back and pepper everything with arrows. So we need to do, what did I say? A rogue, a cleric, and a sorcerer. So let's do a cleric. But we might actually go a little bit different. I haven't done this before. I said, I think Dwarven Cleric and Shield Dwarf? No. Yes, we're going to go Gold Dwarf. The reason we're not going to go Shield Dwarf is because I was thinking of taking Favored Soul. And Favored Souls are a bit like the divine versions of sorcerers. So in arcane spellcasting, you have wizards and you have sorcerers. Wizards learn their spells, they store them in spell books, and then every day they memorize a certain number of those spells. And if they've memorized 2 magic missile and a mage armor, that's all they can cast. They can cast magic missile twice and they can cast mage armor once. But they have a very large selection. Any spells that they're able to put in their spellbook, they're able to use as long as they prepare them first. Sorcerers, however, they innately know spells. They can't learn any new ones through scrolls. They only learn them as they gain levels. And they can cast the spells that they know a limited number of times per day. G'day, St. Salvius. It's good to be back. Had last weekend off. Mostly family stuff. So yes, that's the difference between sorcerers and wizards. Well, the same thing happens with favored souls and clerics. Clerics have to prepare their spells and pray to their god to give them their spells every day. So they can't on the fly decide which things they want to use, but favored souls can. Now, the problem we've got, I think, is that so a favored soul casts divine spells which are drawn from the cleric's spell list. She can cast any spell she knows without preparing it ahead of time the way a cleric must. To cast a spell, the favored soul must have a charisma score of 10 plus the spell's level. The difficulty class for a saving throw against a favored soul spell, yeah, so they use charisma rather than their dexterity, rather than their wisdom as their main attribute. And that's actually a detriment for some dwarves, because as we saw, the shield dwarves actually have less charisma. But we're going to see how this goes. Do I want to go lawful good? Let's put it on lawful at the moment, see what they give us. There's Moradin. Moradin is... I actually saw a video on YouTube the other day that basically posited that in the Forgotten Realms, Moradin is one of the most powerful gods there is. He was actually one of the creator gods that created pretty much everybody, including humans. Yeah, okay, we're going to choose that. We are going to choose Moradin as the favored god of this favored soul. Oh, actually, maybe I shouldn't. That same video that I talked about, that was talking about Moradin being one of the most powerful gods, also mentioned that Moradin really doesn't have female clerics. So maybe I should pick Verona instead. She is the mother of safety. She's also lawful good, so let's pick that. What does this recommend? 14 for strength. Ooh, I don't like that negative for dexterity. I'm going to drop down the constitution a little bit just to get dexterity to 0. I hate penalties, and even though she's a cleric, we are going to give her a sling, and she's going to sit back and throw rocks at people, because basically all of our characters are going to be doing distance stuff most of the time, or as much as we can. Do we really need a high wisdom, though? Let's do that. That's a very unconventional cleric build. I mean, the main reason to give your I can't think of the name. What is the name of this character again? Favored soul. The main reason to give your favored soul a bit of wisdom is really just for the saving throws more than anything. You don't need them as a favored soul. You don't use wisdom for any of your abilities. So let's give that a try. We're going to pick Devout. And then... I'm just going to... Like, I could go through and customize and select various things. I'm just going to go War Priest here and see what it gives us. Lemley. I find, this is something that I find interesting about Neverwinter Nights too. I find that a lot of the races, the names that they randomly give me, a lot of them just don't really feel like they are good female names. At least not to me anyway. They don't feel like they belong. A lot of them have very male overtones. I don't know why, but they do. Ranger, 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 Cleric / favored soul, Rogue. Actually, let's do the Sorcerer first. So I think I was going to do a Gnome Sorceress. We'll pick Rock Gnome. Sorcerer. Neutral good. Doesn't really matter. Now, these ones here, apart from AO, however you want to pronounce that, these ones here, I think, are the gnomish gods and goddesses. Glar Glitter Gold. He is one of the main... Yeah, let's do the sly one, the Master of Illusion. So what does this recommend? 8 for strength, which isn't great, but it's not bad either. In fact, we could drop intelligence to there and give us a 9 there. Dexterity of 14 will be good. 16 for constitution is almost overkill. But yeah, let's do that actually. Thanks for the follow, Liquid Hamp, is it? Liquid Hamp? Luquin Hamp? Let's go Wizard's Apprentice there, I think is probably the best option. And we are going to go, my favorite class, of course, Evoker. Because all the good damaging spells, most. Little Lucas MP. Ah, in Portuguese. Well, there you go. Well, welcome. I should have known that the MP was separate, but I have seen people that do sort of emphasize certain characters in their name for no particular reason. So, okay. So yeah, evokers have most of the damaging spells. Evokers and conjuration really are the two main damaging spells. Thank you. So this is going to be an example. Trying to find a female sounding gnomish name. And these seem to be shared a lot with the halflings. You'll see some of these names when I come to the halflings as well. Marippy, I'll accept Marippy, I guess. Let's add her to the party, and then let's create our rogue. We're going to go halfling. We're going to go strong heart, because that gives us a bonus feat at first level. We will be a little bit low in strength, but... Oh, hang on. Oh. Female halfling. Strong heart. Rogue. Chaotic good. Let's... Any cleric who's not a cleric, any thief any rogue who's not a follower of Tamora is insane. I mean, at least lawfully, good rogues. Tamora is the goddess of luck. Lady Luck, the lady who smiles, our smiling lady. Good fortune, skill, victory, and adventurers. I mean, there are a lot of other gods and goddesses that various rogues appear to, but a lot of them are neutral or evil, and that's just not me. So let's see now. That is actually a really nice spread. We don't need the charisma. In fact, I could put those there, and that might be a little bit of an advantage. And we are going to make Troublemaker. Actually, let's do Appraiser instead, I think. We don't need Sleight of Hand in this. There is no real need to pickpocket anything in this adventure. I don't know what any of these are actually going to do. So I've never used the pre-made ones for rogues before. What we might do is we can remove her, delete her, and recreate her if there's going to be a problem. So let's go Scout. Soppy. That'll do. Let's add her in. Accept that. They all appear. Now let's just have a look at what skills our Scout got. Oh, by the way, I've loaded a mod which increases the size of some of the stuff. Like, this is not normally this big and not laid out quite like this. Normally, the inventory is usually different to this. Usually, you didn't have this full thing like this. Instead, it was underneath the portrait, and you had to page through it all. So it just lays things out better for larger screens, because the game wasn't really designed for 1280 or 1920. Sorry, it was designed for maybe 1024. And also, I've got these ones down here, which are the group actions. So I can tell everyone to attack their nearest, or follow me, or stand their ground, or guard me, or heal me, things like that. But we're wanting to have a look at what skills they got. So they got a praise. Damn it. Did they get... No, they got hide. They might have got something in disable device. Listen, as long as they got a bit in open locks. I am concerned that this one doesn't really focus a little bit on as much on open locks as it could, because they're the main thing. Open locks and disable device are the ones that we really want here.
Greetings.
Let's get rid of Soppy. Let's come down here and let's... Oh, we can't delete her. Let's create another Halfling Rogue. Chaotic Good. Tamora. Recommend. What did we say? Appraiser, didn't we? That was Scout. Let's just go default. Same name, I know, but see how we go. So she's got still only 8 on open lock and 6 on disable device. Yeah, I still don't think I like that.
Greetings.
So we will actually choose, where are we? Halfling. Tamora. Okay, so what we get a lot of points to put in stuff here. What we definitely want is we want open locks and disable device. Now, we might as well take move silently and hide, because they're the other standard rogue things. Tumble is useful. Spot and search are useful. Sleight of hand we don't need. Parry we hopefully won't need. I could take law. praise will be useful. I'm going to get her to take craft weapon as well. If we do get given the opportunity to create some weapons, I want someone who can do it. And then do we put in something like diplomacy or law? It's all I've only really got one less. Listen, I didn't do listen. There we go. And they're going to recommend taking dodge and mobility. Sure. Oh, did I take mobility out of that list somehow? Yes, I did. Now I'm not going to be able to get the name again, the soppy name. I mean, I could type it in, but I can't remember the exact spelling of it. I don't like fruppy. Fruppy sounds a bit like frumpy, which is a bit of an insult. And Friri just sounds silly. Rory, that sounds... I've known guys called Rory. Haruppy sounds like you got hiccups. Look at it. It's just not finding that name again. I think it was something like that. Was that actually how you spelt it? It was. Okay. And we're going to accept that. We're going to check out her details. And open locks. That's better. We only had 6s in open locks. And disabled devices still only a 6. Some of these you get more points in than others. All right. Well, that'll do. That's our party. Now, as I said, we only start with... Well, we've got no gold here at the moment. Let's...
Greetings.
I'd like to start the campaign now.
Our tale begins here, in the quiet fishing village of Easthaven, one of the so-called 10 towns of Icewind Dale. The tiny community is hardly a town, but rather a collection of ramshackle huts crowded together upon the icy shores of Loch Dinneshere. Here, within a dimly lit tavern, a group of travelers sit huddled around a table, swapping tales and making grand plans for the future, completely unaware of the part they are to play in the events that are about to unfold.
What's this? New face in town, eh? Well met, stranger. The name is Hrothgar, originally of Hillsfar. But now, after years of traveling up, down, and under Faerun, I am content to call this town my home. Who might you be?
Greetings, Hrothgar. My name is Tony.
Well then, welcome to Easthaven. Whatever your business in these parts might be, I would offer you this small piece of advice. While you're in my town, you do well to be on your best behavior. These folk are under my protection, and anyone who would seek to do harm to them in any way shall answer to me. That said, I'll let you get back to your cups. I'm sure you've had a long journey, and you'll find there's no better way to shake off the cold of the road than by downing a few mugs of Grisella's best. And if you're in need of lodging, I would recommend talking to Quimby over at the Snowdrift Inn over on the east side of town. Equipment and supplies can be purchased next door at Pomab's Emporium. Pomab's prices are a bit high, even for a Kalashite. But you'd be better off well-equipped and short of coin than the other way around. Ill-prepared travelers don't last long in these parts. Once you've had a chance to rest up and get your bearings, come by and see me at my house. It's just a couple doors west of here. There's some business I would discuss with you. Farewell.
Farewell. So, I have... Okay, no, let's... One thing at a time. I said a minute ago, we start with 100 gold, a club, 2 coins of life, which are a way to resurrect characters that get downed, because in this module, unlike most of the other, or this campaign, unlike most of the other campaigns here in Neverwinter Nights 2, when your character goes below 0 hit points, they actually die here, whereas in the other campaigns, they're unconscious and they revive at the end of the fight. So, we have these coins of life which allow us to resurrect. A little bit of a pain, we're going to hope that that doesn't happen, but we'll see how we go. Now, our characters all have just the armor on their backs and really nothing else. We have a single club amongst the entire party. And that is a little bit of a problem, because normally in the original Icewind Dale role-playing game, which was actually built on the same engine that Baldur's Gate used, every character started with around about 100 gold. It depended on the class that you were, but it usually went anywhere from like 20 gold up to 200 gold as the starting amount, depending on the class. Fighters generally had more than clerics, who had more than rogues, who had more than wizards, and that's the way it worked. Because we are so poorly equipped, I believe that the starting characters in this game were probably a little bit like the starting character in Baldur's Gate, in that they had some minimal weapons on them, but I'm not entirely sure. But we have only minimal armor and no weapons. So, I'm going to go into the console. We have to turn on debug mode. I am going to, select my character, and then we're going to give us 700 gold. So we now have a total of 800 gold. Turn the debug mode off, and we're done. That is the only cheat we're going to do. So now we have some money to buy supplies, and we're going to need them because, like, there is actually a mission that we can do in this very tavern, which is a bit like the starting mission that you have in most games where you have to go and kill some rats, but in this one, it's kill some beetles down in there. You talk to... Well, we'll do that, actually. We'll talk to Grisella over here.
Well met.
How about a drink? A drink, of course, dearie. After all, this is a tavern. Plenty to drink. Well, what do you have? Yes, well, you see, I'm in a bit of a bind right now. I've just run out of everything. I've nothing to offer you in the way of drink at the moment. You've run out of everything. Well, the tavern hasn't run completely dry. I do have some stock down in the cellar, but... This is rather embarrassing, but I'm having somewhat of a pest problem down in the dirty old cellar, and I'm afraid to go down there. I do so hate bugs. Just the thought of those nasty creatures, nasty creepies and crawlies sends shivers down my spine. I see. Is there anything I can do to help? That's awful sweet of you, dearie, but I don't expect you to go to any trouble on my account. I'm sure I'll think of something. Have no fear, madam. I shall see to it that the pests down there trouble you no further. Wonderful. The stairs to the cellar are in the back room. Now, you be careful down there, dearie, and don't let any of those little buggers creep back up here, all right? Okay, so, there is no way I'm going down there right now, because, believe it or not, without weapons, those bugs will kill one or more of us. It sounds insane, but it will happen. And I don't want that to happen, of course. Now, our starting armor is good enough that we'll probably survive, but if we're just trying to punch things, we're going to die. Now, as I said, I have cheated a little bit. I know a little bit about this starting thing, that there are a couple of missions that can be done. You don't just go over here to Pomab's, buy some gear, and then immediately go over there to that guy's house and start the quest. There are a couple of little make-up quests that you can do in the area first. And we don't actually even need weapons for at least one of them. So we're going to come over here and talk to this guy. Hyonan, maybe? I don't know. I know it's got to have some weird pronunciation. Oh, sorry, friend. I didn't see you standing there. Name's Hyonan. Something I can do for you. Are you alright? You seem preoccupied. I might turn that volume down a little bit. That wind noise is quite loud, even to me. I don't know how it is for you guys, but it's a little bit annoying. No, I'm fine. Just taking in the view of the lake for a bit, trying to shake these dreams out of my head. The lake's beautiful, isn't it? Dreams, usually those fade upon waking, friend. Mayhap a day's worth of fishing will chase them away. Ah, well, the dreams have been fishing in me of late, friend. So much so I can barely catch a wink before they rouse me from it. A frustration it is at times. Sometimes it seems like they're more real than the waking world. What kind of dreams? Well, there's a woman, and don't give me that eye. It's not like you think. She walks upon the surface of the lake as if it were flagstones instead of waves. She doesn't say anything, just sings. Beautiful songs, but I can't understand a word. Well, if dreams are your only worry, your life can't be too bad. Dreams should be a comfort, not a curse. If truth to be told, friend, damn it, there's no sense to it. The dreams are eating at me like a starving wolf. I can barely hold a daily thought in my head before the memory of the dreams hounds its way back in there. By the hells, I don't know how much more of this I can take. If I can find a way to help, I will. I don't know how, but I will see what I can find out. You're not playing on a man's hopes, are you? I'll be grateful for just one night of peace. I'll see what I can do. Okay, let's get this out of the way quickly. I know exactly how to solve this problem. Come over here. And Eliza.
Would you like something?
This woman has the skin like the surface of the lake, light green hair, and delicate features like that of an elf. At your approach, she begins to sing a soft, flowing song like the sound of a great undersea current. But you have no idea why the song reminds you of that. In a moment, the song and the feeling passes, and the woman looks at you hopefully. That song, are you the woman that Hyonan sees in his dreams? Hyonan. Yes, Hyonan, you are the woman from his dreams, aren't you? Yes, yes. Have your eyes fallen upon him? Do you know where it is he walks? Yes, I spoke to him recently. He sees you in his dreams, but he doesn't know what you want of him. What do you want? I am of the calling, Eliza of the sky mirror. My heart is his, but he cannot see me in the flesh, or else I will become as the currents upon the shore. A gift do I have for him from one of his blood long ago, who also held my heart, but not as Hyonan holds it now. Many reflections of the moon have come and gone since the day in which one of the blood fell beneath the waters of the lake. He fought the last of the great white serpents that swam upon the northern winds. The Queen Mother, Ika, who now lies without life on the bed of the lake. A promise was made, and I must honor it. So his ancestor asked if I see his blade return to those of his blood if the Queen Serpent drank his life. She did, but not before he dealt her a mortal blow. From the depths of the lake I have brought the fire-shaped steel that ended his life. It is intended that it belonged to him now. So you wish to return the sword of his ancestor to him, but you cannot, because the sight of you will make you stream away to water. There's the law in the lands beneath the lake mirror. Will you give this to him? My songs are his, my heart is his. I will see to it. Okay, so we're going to go and give that sword. Now we can have a look. It's not actually a real sword. It is the shattered blade, so we can't use it as a weapon. At least I don't think we can. No, we cannot. That's fine. Didn't really want to. Come back, and we'll give Joe his sword.
I greet you.
I think I found the reason for the dreams you're having. You're not playing on a man's hopes, are you? The woman in your dreams is a sea spirit. Her kind speak through song, which is why you can't understand her. What does she want then? Why the dreams? So this one here is sort of the evil option. You're basically saying that she's going to kill you, and you have to give up all your worldly possessions and leave town at once. Give them all to me, and I'll dispose of them. I don't even know why they put that option in. I don't understand why they want you to be evil in these games. Okay, so her name is Eliza. Speaking through dreams is one of the talents of her race. She speaks to you because she loved one of your ancestors and has carried a promise for him for many, many years. Your features remind her of him, and your heart is as strong, if not stronger. She has come to love you, but she cannot let you see her in the flesh. She wishes to give you something that belonged to your ancestor if you would take it. Of course I will. I'd be honored to accept anything she wishes me to have. Here you are then. It's the blade your ancestor used against the last of the White Dragon matriarchs. It lay within the dragon's heart for almost a century at the bottom of the waters. Carry it well and know that she loves you. Your dreams shall not trouble you anymore. By the spine of the world, even shattered, this blade's a wonder. No more dreams, she said. Well, I'll miss them. Actually, her song's beautiful, simply beautiful. I'll tell her farewell. So there we go. Did we actually get any? We gained 100 experience for that. I don't expect any money for any of this, by the way. I know I do get some experience. And then we go back and we talk to the... I don't think this is actually the elf, it's just like her spirit.
Would you like something?
Yep, I returned the blade to him. You have my gratitude. Please take this shaped piece of sand, which I have taken from the bed of the lake. I have heard that those who walk upon the land value such things. Thank you. So she just gave us a pearl, which is essentially a shaped piece of sand. There's nothing of importance in that building. There are a couple of people you can talk to, but they really just give you background information. We're going to quickly just come in here because I think there's a chest which sometimes has some stuff in here that we are allowed to loot. Again, it's one of those. Okay. Last time I was... So I've been in this room twice. This is the third time. The first time, there was a winter wolf pelt and a duskwood plank. The second time there was only the winter wolf pelt. This time there are 3 things. But that faint water essence, if there is crafting in the game, that should add, I think, cold damage to a weapon. It'll allow us to potentially enchant a weapon with cold damage, which should be interesting. Assuming our sorceress has that skill, though. I think she needs craft weapon. So probably not. Oh, no, actually, no. She doesn't need it. She just needs to cast the spell. Why can we not see anything? There we go. Okay, so Apsel here has a task for us. Oh, thank God. Whoever you are, you picked the perfect time to wander by. I could really use some help. My name is Tony. Who might you be? The name's Apsel, but please, we don't have time for such pleasantries. I need your help. What seems to be the problem? A wolf somehow got into my workshop and is tearing the place apart. It attacked me as I was opening the shop this morning. I was so startled by the sight of the beast, I accidentally broke the key off in the lock while trying to get away. Now I can't even get back in. Your shop, what do you sell? I'm a scrimshander. I carve the huge bony skulls of knucklehead trout into fine works of art. This summer, Southlanders will come up and buy my pieces to take back to their fancy shops. That is, of course, if I ever get any work done, damn wolf. What exactly do you want me to do? Stupid question. Be most grateful if you go in there and get rid of that stupid thing for me. Then I could get back to my scrimshaw. Of course, you'll have to find a way to get the door open first. Very well, I shall do that. Thank you. The door to my shop is just around the corner, so it's just around there. We're not going to go and open it up yet because we need to get ourselves some weapons. There's nothing of interest in that building, nor that one. This is the temple to Tempus. We want to spend our money later. That house has nothing of interest in it. That is the councillor's house, so we'll see him last. So what we want to do now is... That's the fishmonger's shop. I don't remember if there was a quest in here or not. Well, that's strange. My name's Gaspar. Fishmonger, what can I do for you? Fishmonger, that doesn't sound like a fish shop. That's because it isn't, my friend. This is my home. I may be a fishmonger, but that doesn't mean I hawk fish like some street vendor. I deal in large quantities of dried knucklehead and scrimshaw, the bulk of which I keep stored in my warehouse down on the shore. That was the warehouse that I didn't go into. Dried what? Knucklehead trout. It's a rare fish found here only in the lakes of Tentown. Their bones are used to produce valuable scrimshaw. You must make a decent amount of coin. It's an honest living. Of an important transaction in the works as we speak. What sort of transaction? Town's food stores are running dangerously low. My warehouse foreman tells me that there might not be enough food to last through the coming winter. I've arranged a trade with old Galloway up in Caer Dineval. That will keep our stomachs full well into next year. The caravan's due to arrive any day now. I wish you best of luck, friend. So actually that caravan is running late and we get a quest to go and investigate in a moment. So that was the tavern we started in. That is the inn. So that's a tavern which you can't sleep at. That's an inn which you can sleep at, but he doesn't seem to sell any drinks. And this is Pomab's Emporium, where we're going to buy a few things. He has very limited equipment to begin with. What is this? More barbarians come to my shop. No doubt with nothing to barter but more wolf pelts and polished stones. Very well, let us get this over with. What do you want? Barbarians? I think you're mistaken, friend. Am I now? I don't think so. All of you northerners are the same to me, smelly and barbaric. Northerners, I take it you are not from around here? I am Pomab Azamir, royal diplomatic envoy of Kalasham and appointed overseer of the northern caravan routes. Forgive me, my lordship, I had no idea. Your poor attempt at sarcasm is an obvious sign of your lowly birth. I'll have you know that I am third cousin to the Pasha himself, not to mention a royal courtier in good standing. If you're in such good standing in Kalasham, then why in the Nine Hells are you doing all the way up here in Icewind Dale? The Pasha asked me to accept this post of overseer of the northern caravan routes as a personal favour. I see. Likely this post is naught but a convenient excuse for the Pasha to get rid of a royal pain in his arse. I would not expect someone of your station to understand such matters. Now, if you do not mind, buy something or leave. Fine. What do you have to sell? Okay. I'm going to sell that faint water essence because at the moment the best thing I can do is sell it and make money from it. Same with the dustwood plank. Same with the winter wolf pelt and the pearl. We shall keep the club on us. Now, the halfling and the gnome can't use regular-sized weapons. We're not going to bother with armor, or actually at the moment, except to give our cleric a shield. One heavy shield. There we go. Equip that. Put that over there. Put that there. Right, now, weapons. Pretty much what you see is what you get. With the exception of the ammunition, you can't buy multiples of any of these items if they're not listed multiple times. So, for example, there are 2 halberds and 2 halberds only, which means there is only 1 longbow. I'll give you one guess who that's going to. There we go. I do want backup weapons, however. And what I noticed was there are a bunch of weapons here, like these halberds and this falchion, that are actually fairly cheap for two-handed weapons. Right? So if you look at things like... So they were 42 gold each. The greatsword's 210. The great axe is 84. But the falchion and the halberds are half the price, and yet they do similar damage. The great axe does 1d12, and the greatsword does 2d6. The halberds do 1d10, so a little bit less. And the falchions do 2d4, which is a lot less, actually. But the prices are actually quite good. So I feel these guys all need backup weapons. So the falchion's going to go to me. That's going to be my backup weapon. And then we've got our Orcish Ranger. She is going to start with... Actually, I'm going to get her to start just with her halberd and nothing else. Because I do know we get a whole bunch of bows fairly quickly. Short bows, anyway. Now, okay, our favoured soul / cleric can use heavy and light crossbows. I'm not sure if our gnome and halfling can technically use the heavy crossbows. I know they can use the light ones, but we're also limited on our gear. Our ranger needs a bow, so she's going to take the short bow, and I'll give her the other halberd. So let's set those up as preferred weapons. I'll give them ammunition in a minute. So she's set. Did I make that weapon? I didn't get you to wield that weapon. There we go. Now, just trying to think. I can get short bows, and the rogue can use a short bow as well. So I think what I'm going to do, I really don't like giving sorcerers anything, but you have to in this game because they don't have unlimited cantrips. So we're going to give her a light crossbow, and that club as a backup, because she can use it. She'll use that two-handed because that is a medium weapon and she is a small character, so she uses medium weapons two-handed. Who did I just... No, wrong person. There we go. So, let's move that over to here, that over to there. That's going to be your primary weapon. You're never going to use the club, but it's going to be there for the moment. We'll probably end up selling it later. We'll sell the crossbow eventually too at some point. I'm going to give you the heavy crossbow for the moment and hope you can actually use it. If not... Yes, you can. Good. If not, I would have given it to the dwarf. So you can have that. So I need you to have a backup weapon. No. Let's not waste our money. We get something in a little bit, I think, that'll work as a backup weapon. So for now, if I give you... As a rogue, you are going to be using that heavy crossbow probably until the day die. So we'll give you 2 lots of bolts. You're mostly going to be using that bow, so let's give you 2 lots of arrows. And you're done. You're ready to go. We're only going to give you 1 lot of bolts because you're not going to use the second lot. You can give those bolts to the rogue later on. Now, what do I give you as a weapon? I could splurge and give you a dwarven war axe, but I want to keep you as a more traditional... You can't use a warhammer. Interesting. You can use a morning star, though. Actually, I was going to end up giving the thief a short bow at some point, wasn't I? Let's give you... Let's give you a morning star for the moment and no missile weapons. Okay. You have your halberd, but no bow because they're all sold out. You are going to need a bow eventually, so we'll get you a couple of 100 arrows. Get ready for that. I mean, ultimately, my 3 rangers are going to have longbows or composite longbows as soon as I can get them for them. But the limited supplies we have at the moment, there's no sense running around trying to get them stuff that we can't either purchase or afford to purchase. Now, I have a little bit of money, 800 gold. That's a lot, actually. I could buy a chain shirt. Actually, do they have anything? What are you? You're wearing Favored Soul's outfit. That is medium armor, 5 and 2. I think that's it's chain mail. There's no sense buying chain mail for her. And they don't have anything better than chain mail. Oh, they have scale mail, which is not actually better than chain mail. So there's no sense buying, and these actually don't give any protection. They're just, they look nice. So there's no sense buying any of that. So the medium armor, she's already got the best that she can. So our cleric is as well set up as she can be, apart from not having a missile weapon for the moment. Armor-wise, my rangers and my rogue, I could buy a studded leather, but this woodsman's outfit that they're all wearing, 3 and 5, is the same as studded leather, 3 and 5. And I think even the rogue, no, you're actually wearing leather armor. Okay, so what I could do, oh, actually that's interesting. I could buy the chain shirt, and if I give that to you, Prulo is, who did I just buy that? There we go. Prulo is currently wielding a melee weapon because I don't have a bow for her. So if I give that to her, that gives her an armor class of 17, and I can move the woodsman's outfit. Oh, why am I getting? Oh, damn it, I'm getting some really bad pairing going on there in my capture software. One moment, please. What? What? Oh, I'm getting funny sound feedback and my mic isn't working. Hang on. And the game's also not refreshing. Let's... And that's not zoomed in the normal amount. There we go. And that needs to be that. Damn it, I'm still getting that problem. Testing. Testing. Okay, so I got the mic back. I'm going to have to stop the stream here because I can't fix this without rebooting by the looks of it. But it also looks like my video capture is going bad, which is incredibly disappointing. I'm going to have to play around with it a little bit and see if I can work out what's going on. Hopefully I will be back shortly. One moment.